thinking that I might be not straight when I fell in love with my female best friend. And I sort of just ran with that for a while. I didn't really think about labels or anything like that. And then I think when I was about 16, I started to think, well, I need to sort out what I am. But I was worried about that because I was brought up in a very religious household and my parents just basically didn't approve at all of homosexuality.
Kind of came out to the rest of the world before I did my family. It was a lot later on. My mum had an issue with it at first, but I'm one of 8. I've got 7 siblings, so I think through them she's kind of been okay with it and found it okay. So
I would identify myself as a lesbian. I knew 14, 15. I come out when I was more 16. Nowadays, I wouldn't say like people like question it too much. Like they'll assume that I'm a lesbian anyway, so they just don't care. I always say that. It's going. When I went to college, like no, there was no judging or nothing, so it was quite good. So it's just like I felt comfortable.
My first secondary school was really bad. I think it was the fact that it was a load of, well, it was quite a Christian type of school, and you know, and it was way before the Equality Act of 2010, so they could still teach about homophobia in the Bible and stuff like that, and it wasn't so much physical abuse, it was just verbal abuse, like you faggot, blah, blah. It's not nice, and I left that school like after the first 3 years and went to a much better school where we had gay assemblies and we talked about how it's okay to be gay, and we even had a gay straight alliance and a board with all the information on it, and it was so much better.
At school it was a nightmare because my name's Sam, so I was always called Sam the Man. I had short back and sides, and obviously I was known as the man, and it was horrible. But,
yeah, but
you know, after a bit, at the
it
time,
depends who you are.
yeah,
I think.
you don't care. After a bit, you just get used to it, and then, you know, I'm glad all my friends knew, because all my friends was really supportive, and my family was really supportive when I come out as gay. I've got a gay older brother, so my mum, I think she was used to kids coming out as gay by then, so, you know, it was the norm.
I suppose when I actually accepted that I was bisexual would have been November 2009. In thinking about it since, I probably knew a lot earlier. People see being bisexual, in the most part, as a transition phase from being gay to being straight, or from being straight to being gay in one form or another, not realising that there is a huge population of people that are actually in that bracket. Some people out about it, majority not, and the reason they're not is because they get told that it's just a phase, and it isn't just a phase. I don't see the need to go shouting about it from the rooftops, but at the same time, you shouldn't be pushed to the background because people don't believe it's something that exists.
The thing that made me hold back with my sexuality was my fear of rejection and my hearing other people's kind of attitudes really towards gay people in general. And I was frightened, very, very, very frightened of being myself and being rejected by the people that loved me and the people that had accepted me for the person they thought that I was.
I found it harder to come out because the only view of gay women that I had was from media stereotypes, and because I didn't feel like I fit in with the lesbian stereotype, I thought I was probably not gay, and I was trying to convince myself that it wasn't because it was easier, and obviously I didn't want to get any prejudice or discrimination, and because I felt like people would turn around and go, oh, you can't be gay, you like makeup and you like nice hair and you like clothes and all these things, because it didn't fit into that stereotype of how I perceived the media explained gay men and gay women.
In 1996, I started counselling, and we were unpicking my gender, my sexuality, and she convinced me after a year of talking about it to go and see a gender therapist in London. This person said to me that, after listening to me, They thought I was a transsexual person, that I was really female, and I was then so unhappy and I didn't fit in because I was trying to be something I wasn't. And I kind of had mixed emotions because on the one hand, the person had said that I was a transsexual person, so that kind of gave me a label and an identity. And but that was also quite unsettling because I didn't want to be transsexual. It sounded like a dirty word at the time, because going back to those days, that was 1998, the media's view of trans people was a lot harsher than it is now.
Well, LGBT, of course. I am bisexual and I'm also transgender, so I fit into the BT bit. From a very early age, I realised I was different from a lot of people. At school, there were 3 groups in the playground. There were the boys, the girls, and myself. And neither of the other 2 groups particularly wanted to know me. Through my formative years, I gradually appreciated that I wanted to be a female rather than a male. But of course then, at that time, we are talking the 1950s, no internet, no computers even. Homosexuality was illegal, and it was very difficult. I started to dress occasionally in secret and so on, which I continued throughout my life until I decided that I just had to become me.
Legalisation was 67. I was 18 in 1967. I didn't really come out till the early 70s, several years later. From after the end of the Second World War, there was a kind of nodding acknowledgement that gay men existed and were meeting one another. The trouble is, you had no safety. So even in the early 70s, I mean, I can remember sort of police just arriving in a club and it's all being turned out and sort of, lined up against a wall and even after legalisation.
I grew up really in the 70s and the 80s, where there wasn't that much tolerance as there is now in year 2012. So talking about the AIDS issue, for example, when that was launched in the mid-80s, it was a very negative message, and I remember distinctly seeing on television the advert, about how it was this massive gravestone, and I remember the image of this gravestone falling on the floor and breaking, and this was certainly something that I did not want to be part of. I did not want this dark grey curse, which was publicised as being the gay disease. So I did not want to be gay, really. It kind of tainted my view that this was an awful thing. It's a much more tolerant world now. When I was at school, it certainly wasn't that way, and I feel that young people are very lucky now. There's great strides forward. I think as well with celebrities that are open in their sexuality, and people that you can look up to, people who've had fantastic achievements. And I think that's really, really great to have positive role models in that respect. I think that's changed. I think people are more tolerant, people are more open now. And I work in education now in a secondary school, and I can see young people who are open at school, and I think that it's absolutely fantastic that you've got people, young people, very young people, who are, open that way, and they can be who they really are and feel safe, feel safe in their community and supported.
People seem to pick on people going through their transition because they are fairly obvious targets. And I think that the only way that we can improve this is by education and showing people that we're just human beings with perhaps a slightly different slant on life.
I think social attitudes will change because it's more out there now. It's okay to be gay, and it's all over TV, and people are quite open about it. And I think the more that people talk about things and the more that people see things, the more it'll be accepted.
I have currently got a partner. He's a lot younger than me. He plays for the football team as well. He's actually bisexual. It's great representing Wolverhampton and being obviously the top scorer last season. There's not many of us that are gay on the team, but we're still all family and treat each other the same, and we don't change the way we speak to each other and treat each other based on whether we're gay, straight or bi. It's just a gay friendly football team that we love playing for.
I said I was bisexual, and then it turned more seriously because I just got to the stage where it was like, what's the point? I can't live my life if I can't be honest with myself, and to be honest with myself, I need to be honest with everybody else. So you do get tormented, and you do get names, and you get tricked. But I think there should be a lot more things going into schools and colleges to help other people that are come out gay or come out as a lesbian, to help them be more, comfortable in their own skin, kind of thing.
There's always going to be people in your life, doesn't matter who you love, man, woman, heterosexual, homosexual, lesbian, gay, trans, whatever. Doesn't matter who you love, where they are from, there's always going to be someone in your close family or any close friends that don't get on with them, and that's fine. That's fine, but as long as you're happy and as long as you're true to your heart, then, that's all that you really need.
Every step of the way where I thought, this is going to be hard, this is going to be tough, telling my family, going out my front door, going to the shops, of going abroad, all the different steps I've taken where you think, oh my gosh, this is going to be so horrible. I've made it through every single one of them.